Preston Spradlin works his magic yet again in the transfer portal. Chef P is cooking in the transfer kitchen. Mark Freeman announced on May 11th that he's going to use his final year of eligibility with JMU, making the portal haul for Spradlin in his first offseason with JMU maybe the best in Duke's history. This is a guy who was the 2022-2023 Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year after averaging 15 points per game on 41% shooting, 36% from behind the arc, and tacked on 3.7 assists per game. Then Freeman was named preseason all-conference heading into last season, but was dealing with a lingering wrist issue all offseason, and right before the season started, the Moorhead staff decided it would be best for him to undergo a season-ending procedure, so he didn't play at all last year. So due to missing last year, the Memphis, Tennessee native has one remaining year of eligibility, and he's elected to use that playing for Preston Spradlin and the Dukes in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Now, how does Mark Freeman fit into this roster that Preston Spradlin has built out of thin air? On first glance, I'm going to say he seems to fit in extremely well. As the roster was being built through the transfer portal, it seemed that there was this glaring hole. It was a pure scoring playmaker that at any point could just take over a game all by himself. That's Mark Freeman. Granted, AJ Smith, the Southern Indiana transfer, he did average just under 14 points per game, 13.7 points per game a year ago in the OVC. And they did add Luke Anderson, a D2 standout who averaged just under 20 points a game, 19.8 points per game to be exact. And he shot 40% from behind the arc. Neither one, though, truly filled the Freeman-sized hole. In the 2022-2023 season, Mark Freeman was 17th in field goal attempts in the OVC, 9th in scoring while racking up 3.7 assists per game. That was the fourth most in the OVC. He also had the fourth best assist to turnover ratio in the conference. Xavier Brown, the rising junior, is set to be a key piece in the backcourt, but at this point in his career, I don't think he necessarily brings to the table what Mark Freeman does. And that's no slight against Xavier Brown. Mark Freeman is just a very experienced point guard. He started his career at Tennessee State, then transferred to Illinois State, then played a year with Moorhead State, and now is going to finish out his college eligibility with JMU. This is a guy who's been through it all, has done it all, has led a team in scoring, has really been the focal point of an offense. Xavier Brown hasn't had to do that. And I think another year kind of easing into that role, learning from Mark Freeman, can actually set Xavier Brown up for more success down the road. And instead of asking Brown to do it all right here, right now, as that rising junior, Mark Freeman is going to be his backcourt mate. He's going to take some of that load off, and it will allow Brown to play a lot more freely, or even better, the duo could pack an insane 1-2 punch in the Sun Belt with Freeman starting and Brown being the go-to sixth man like he was to start this past season. Freeman is a playmaking point guard who isn't afraid to shoot and shoot often. He averaged 11.7 shots per game his last healthy season, the most on that 22-12 Moorhead State team. What makes Freeman so potent and really a high-end transfer that Spradlin and company had targeted and wanted this whole time is just his overall playmaking ability. Despite taking over 11 shots per game on average, he's still a high-level facilitator, averaging just under 4 assists per game and having a top 5 assist-to-turnover ratio in the OVC. He can do a little bit of everything, and having that experience as your main ball handler can go a long way in this upcoming Sun Belt season. Overall, his scoring ability and his overall playmaking ability is going to put a big-time strain, I think, on Sun Belt defenses. It should open up chances for Luke Anderson, for AJ Smith, two guys we mentioned above. And it really should open up the interior with guys like Ebenezer Dewana and Elijah Hutchins-Everett down low with post opportunities. And now the overall roster has taken shape. I think Mark Freeman was kind of the final piece to the puzzle. He slotted in. They have 2 scholarships remaining. I wouldn't be shocked if they both go to freshmen to high schoolers coming up the ranks. I think the transfer portal haul may be done with Mark Freeman because I think that was whatever cliche you want to enter here, the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, Mark Freeman was that final piece that really brings it all together. So now at guard, JMU has Xavier Brown and Mark Freeman, and they also have sophomore Bryce Lindsey, who can now develop nicely after his injury-shortened freshman year at Texas A&M. And the Dukes also have freshman Red Thompson, who, if I had to make a guess, will likely redshirt this season just because there won't be a ton of playing opportunities for the freshmen, so you can redshirt him, keep him for a little bit longer. On the wings, you got Moorhead transfer Eddie Ricks III, you got AJ Smith, you got Syracuse transfer Justin Taylor, and the aforementioned Luke Anderson. And down low, you have returner Jarrell Roberson, and then two P5 guys in Dewana and Hutchins Everett. This team truly has the potential to repeat as Sun Belt champions and win another game in the NCAA tournament come March of 2025.